Hi, I'm Penny, this is Penelope's Pitstop, and in this issue, 22, we're going to connect the jaw and assemble the head. So let's first of all have a look at the parts. We've got a right shoulder, a right jaw connector A, left jaw connector B. Part 4 is left jaw connector B. B. 22.5 right jaw connector B, and 22.6 is the jaw pins times 3, one of which is spare. Now parts 2, 3, 4 and 5 all come on a sprue, so they will need cutting off, and we will also need a cutting mat, tweezers, fine dressmaking pins or needles, which I actually don't have, but we'll see how we get on, super glue, head assembly from stage 21 and the faceplate assembly from stage 10. So we'll pop this piece aside. I think this isn't actually being used in this issue anyway, so I'll pop that away nice and safe, and I'll leave the pins there until we need them. And the first thing we're going to need is the plastic frame. So let's get this into the orientation that they've shown on the magazine so that we can identify the parts. So that's 4, 5, 3 and 2, and the parts that we will need for the first step is 2 and 5, which are these two both on the right. So I will cut those off, and these are plastic, but if you remember my live builds with Horlicks on the Routemaster, we would describe these as I can't believe it's not plastic, or I can't believe it's not metal, sorry, because they do, the way that they've been finished, they do look plastic, do look metal, but they are in fact plastic. So that's the first two pieces. And so step 1, place the plastic frame on a suitable cutting surface in the orientation shown. Note the frame is positioned so that the pegs at the bottom of part 22.4, 22.5 turn upwards. Cut the right jaw connectors 22.2, 22.5 from the frame. Leave the other connectors in place on the frame so that you do not get them mixed up. So obviously, as you can see, I've jumped in and done it before I've actually described it, which is my bad, which means we go straight into step 2. Check that the fit of the bracket at the end of the right jaw connector A, 22.2, over the tab in the side of right jaw connector B, which is part 5. If it does not fit, use a fine file to remove excess finishing material between the brackets on part 22.2. It is important not to remove too much material, as a joint should be a snug fit. So what we want to do is we want to take this piece, and they've got this bit pointing to the right, so let me just change my focus a little bit. So this piece there is pointing to the right and this piece is visible. This is what we're working on, and on piece 22.2 it's pointing upwards, and that is going to go in like that, and it's actually quite loose. I certainly don't need to do any work on that, and I'm just going to line that up so that I can see through all the way with the hole inside, which is about there. I have noticed that the hole in the middle is actually quite small, and I figure that that's got to be small because of what's coming up next. So step 3, grip one of the jaw pins 22.6 in a pair of tweezers or forceps. Insert the end of the pin into the hole in the joint. Apply gentle pressure to the pin to ensure that it sits right in the joint with the ends flush with the outside of the brackets on part 22.2. So this is going to be fiddly, guys. So you see there we've got 3 pins. So they have given us a spare. So if we should lose one, then it's not going to be the end of the world. However, we don't want to lose one, because if we lose one on this one, we'll have no spare for the next stage, and I nearly lost it. So I want to grab this in the middle because I want to see if there's an end to it. No, that is just a pin. There's no head to it. So it obviously doesn't matter. If you just run your fingernail along the ends, there's no lips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that into this side, and that is bigger than the hole, so that idea isn't going to work. What I wanted to do was just push it into there, put the other piece in, and then push it all the way in, but it's not going to go in smugly. And I've just lost a pin. I cannot believe I've done that. So I've just told you guys to not lose that pin, and I've lost the pin. So when you grip this with your tweezers, get it a little bit further down. Mine has just gone flying across my room, and it's going to take me absolutely hours to find it. So thank the Lord that they have spares. So see, I've got that a little bit further down. So what I'm going to try and do, and this is one of those I need 3 hands jobs. So right, so I need to try and push that pin in there, and there we go, there we go. So I've used my fingernail, but that has gone through there fine, and because the hole in this pin is just a tiny bit smaller, it forces its way through, and that's what you're left with. So you've got a pivot there, so that I'm quite happy with. So obviously I've got to be very, very careful because I now only have one pin. So step 4, check the fit at the right jaw connector 22.5 and 22.2 in the side of the head assembly from stage 21. The peg at the lower end of part 22.5 fits into a hole in the lower jaw plate. So we need to bring in the head. He's looking a bit surprised at the moment because he has no eye plate, and he obviously has no eyebrows, so he's looking very surprised. So the orientation is this way around. So this peg there is at the bottom, and this peg is going to go, there's a little hole there, so that bit is going to go there, and this is the incorrect side. It is the incorrect side. So we have done the correct peg, as in we've done this side 2 and 5, but when we do it onto the right, it's not fitting. So I think the instructions are the wrong way round. I think this is actually the left. So there's 2 holes under there, one there, let me get my tweezers out, there's a hole there and a hole there, and then there's a little hole there, and that is supposed to go in these, and then this peg goes into the lower jaw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide those into there all the way, and then I'm going to bring it down, and there we go. Because this is meant to look like a piston, but it's not actually a piston, so it's going to run freely on there. So right, I have definitely found that the instructions are slightly incorrect. They're not so wrong that you can't complete it, but obviously when they've said the right side, they actually mean the left. So that I'm happy with. So now step 4 doesn't say anything about gluing, so let's have a look at stage 5. As the jaw closes, the upper ends of the jaw connectors 2 and 5 fit into the holes beneath the eye sockets. When you are happy with the fit, remove the jaw connectors from the head, apply a little super glue to the peg at the end of part 22.5 and fix it back in place. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to skip step 5 for a minute. There is a reason I'm going to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to step 6 and 7, and then I'm going to do 5 and 8 together, just to double check that this, do you know what, I really do apologise guys, I had this sprue upside down, so I had the instructions are the correct way round. I do apologise. I had the sprue this way round, so you can see I've done the correct sides, but this is the correct way around. There's an L there, LRR. So I haven't done a bad build, but now can you see why I do dry fits and I do things carefully. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do steps 6 and 7, and then I will build them, then I will glue both of them on. I won't bring the instructions up for 6 and 7 because they are identical to 4 and 5, except that obviously the parts are slightly different. So I'm going to place this on this side of the head, I'm going to place the head here, and then I'm going to build this one in fast motion. So there you go guys, so this is the left side built, and I did actually place this on the wrong side, so let's do a test fit first. So we've got the 2 holes there just like we had on the other side, and the hole there. So we're going to, placing this pin, bottom pin downwards, we're going to pop that into there, and that goes in absolutely fine. So, and there we go. So what's going to happen is as the lower jaw moves, it's going to move this up and down, and this piece, remember placing that peg downwards, is going to go into there, and that's what it will look like when it's glued in. It's only a small detail, but it's quite a nice detail. So let's get that glued in, and yeah, so I'll speed the video up a little bit. I've got some new glue. I know I mentioned in some other videos I was having problems with the glue, so I actually bought 2 glues which I'm going to try out. So at the time of filming this, I have no idea what one of these is like, so I bought my regular super glue. I absolutely love this. As you can see there, it bonds in 10 seconds. I mentioned before about the holding it, but I've also bought this, and this is super glue. I've never seen it before. So apparently if you open the lid up, it looks like a normal super glue, and if you open this bit instead, let me move him because you know I'm a bit of a disaster area. So on this side you've got a brush, so I thought that would be quite useful. So I have the benefit of a bottle of super glue, but the convenience also of the brush. So let me get this stuck on, and yeah, so yeah, I'll see you in a moment. Okay guys, so I did have a bit of an accident with the super glue. It's the first time I've used it, and what happened was I was actually being really good and I was scraping lots off the glue, and then I glued a little bit on the pin, sorry, and it didn't stick. So I guess I just hadn't put enough glue on, or didn't put it in the right places. So I applied a little bit more, and I applied it into the hole, and again I don't think I applied it in the right places. So I applied a little bit more glue, and I didn't see how much was on the brush. And then what happened was it all filled that hole so much it started running down there. Now you see I've got a little bit of toilet paper. I should have dabbed the toilet paper rather than rub it, which was my mistake. But I can remove that, and I will show you how I've done that in a future video. But for now I'm just going to let that dry, and yeah, that will come off. I'm really not worried about it. But as you see, those pegs are in, well, there's a little bit too much glue in there, so all I can really do is leave that overnight, which is quite useful because the next video is nothing to do with the head, so that's absolutely fine. However, we have got another stage left. Stage 9, take the faceplate eye socket assembly from stage 10. Fit the set side piece of part 1-1 in place so that the flat prongs fit on either side of the raised area on the side of the head, part 9-1. At the same time, matching the prongs on the other side fit around the raised area on the other side of the head, so I can still get on with that. So this is the flat plate, the face plate, and what we're going to do is we're going to slip this end bit there into this little groove there. At the same time we're fitting the other side as well, so just rest that on there, make sure it's gone into place there, and then we'll just push that into place. And I noticed that it's absolutely snug there, but there's a little gap there, so that's not a major problem. I think when you've got the whole model finished, I don't think that's going to be a focus point. So step 10, make sure that the faceplate fits snugly in place, which we've just done. But there you go, that's absolutely fine. So he just needs a bit of a clean up on the chin. So let's do a little comparison. Let's see if I can get a good shot for the comparison. And this is what I've got, and then hopefully there is going to be the picture from the magazine, and let's see if I can get the orientation roughly the same. I would say that looks absolutely spot on to me. So guys, that's this stage complete. Next issue we will be working on the right shoulder joint. It doesn't look like it's going to be a major issue. So hopefully nice and short. So what I have actually decided to do, I might have mentioned it on some of my other videos, because I'm doing catch-up issues, placing them all together and making them all very long videos. One of my videos is 54 minutes. Ideally I want 15 to 30 minutes. So I am going back to the idea of making one video per stage, and then if I want to do a catch-up I will release 2, maybe 3 videos all on the same day, and I think that that's going to be a better idea. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will refer to videos as next issue, not next week. So I will catch you all in the next issue.